Good morning, seniors. We'll be having a very interesting year learning pre-calculus together. Today I'm going to show you parent functions. This is just the basics that you need to know to get through the course. Obviously, pre-calculus is it's a tough subject, so we're going to take our time and get through it together. Alright. So just a few parent functions that I can show you. Y equals x. Alright, so we also want to learn about domain and range. That's something that's going to be very important. So the parent graph of a linear equation y equals x will look like this. When you see any graph, you always want to identify what the domain and range is. This is always your y-axis, and this is always going to be your x-axis. Okay? So you always want to recognize what your domain and your range is. Your domain is going to be equivalent to your x-axis, and your range will be equivalent to your y. So as you can see, the arrows mean that it can go on, go on, go on, go on. So your domain with the lowest number that can get on this graph will be negative infinity. Okay, and obviously it keeps going, so to positive infinity. And for your range, your y, as you can see, it keeps going, it never stops. So we're going to put that as negative infinity to positive infinity. Alright, this y equals x is a linear function. Okay? Alright, so next we will talk about a quadratic function. Y equals x squared. Again, you got your y-axis, your x-axis, and the basic parent graph of this type of function will look like this. Excuse my lines if they're a little crooked. Okay, so again, we want to try to find what our domain and our range would be. Okay, alright, so looking at it, let's start with our domain. Domain would be negative infinity all the way to positive infinity because it keeps going. Your range, however, will be a little different this time. As you can see, it doesn't come to the negative side of the y-axis at all. This is always going to be your 0 point, where your x and y-axis crosses is your 0 point. So you would have that range includes. Obviously, you see it's a difference. Usually, I've been using the parentheses, now I'm using the bracket. Use the bracket when it includes it. So this is saying that the range includes 0, 0. Okay, and obviously it goes all the way up on our y-axis, so all the way to positive infinity. Okay. And I'll show you one more. All right. This is what we would call a cubic function. All right. Okay. So the graph for this one will look like what? It will look like this. Okay. All right. So again, looking at this, you want to find out what your domain and what your range is. For this one, I'm not going to give you the domain and the range. I ask that you try to find out one yourself. Okay? Alright, and the way that you will find that, just if you did not just have me in front of you telling you it's negative infinity to positive infinity, you can also always pick out points on your line. Okay? And you can set an XY chart and you can do it that way. Okay? On the next slide, will be a few more examples that I want you to kind of try to learn on your own. Y equals the absolute value of x, and then again, I did linear for you, but I would like to see you guys do that out yourself. In the slide that follows this will be an informative YouTube video. I really encourage everyone to seriously sit down and watch this entire video. Put the game down for a few minutes, watch this video because it has some very good information that you're going to need in order to pass this course. Alright, again, my contact number and email is attached to the syllabus that I sent out last night. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.